T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello guys, it's Ols. Welcome back to Honey Badger 3D Print and Paint. I'm joined by Mike, the baby who got his wish to be big, and it's currently so hot in this garage that two hobbits ran in and threw a ring underneath my desk. So
look at the size of the ring they threw in at me.
Yeah, they could have done that. So it also proves just how small Mike is, because that's a regular size ring. So today we are taking a look at the Apexmaker. So the Apexmaker X1, it is a Kickstarter. Let's just go through the necessary disclosures to begin with. First of all, we are not being paid to do any reviews for this machine. However, we were sent this machine for free. So that's just full disclosure. We were sent the machine for free. After we've done the review, we get to keep it. We're not being paid for the review. Apexmaker have no editorial rights or anything over anything that we say. We are loose cannons. They've specifically asked us not to do a live stream because they've watched our other ones and they don't like it. So here we are.
You know, it's going to go directly behind me there.
It is indeed, yeah. Second point to make. This machine is obviously by Apexmaker and it is on Kickstarter. Kickstarter is not a platform that we normally endorse, although I'll admit we've had a few Kickstarter machines on here in the past. There is a risk with any Kickstarter. Doesn't matter if it's a well-established company or a new player in the field like Apexmaker. Use Kickstarter at your own risk. You do not have any consumer rights as a result of using Apexmaker. It's important to remember that. Okay? Do not think that, oh, if I back it, I'm absolutely guaranteed a machine. It doesn't work that way. You can't do chargebacks. You're not buying a machine. Oh, we do finally have Mr. Farmer.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good. Apologies for the late delay here.
You're a bit quiet. Or am I just really loud? Try that again.
You're good?
It's a bit quiet.
No, I think you're all right. Okay, fair enough. Maybe it's just me. So, yeah, as I was saying, Kickstarter is not, we don't endorse Kickstarter as a platform. There is inherent risk with a Kickstarter. There is a chance, although it is unlikely, that these machines may not get delivered. You need to make that choice for yourselves. But here it is in all of its glory. Matt has had his considerably longer than we've had ours. We've had ours just under a week. But Matt, you've had yours, I think about 2 weeks now. Isn't it 2-3 weeks?
It's been, yeah, I'd say about 3 weeks now.
Yeah. We've compared notes a little bit. I don't think there's anything different on mine that is on yours. So I don't think they've done any hardware revisions or anything like that. No. So this would appear that this is the machine you are going to get when the Kickstarter finishes. Unless me, Matt, and some of the other people testing find something glaringly obvious that is a massive problem.
Wonky.
What's that?
Our X1's wonky.
Pardon?
Our X1 badge on the front is wonky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so if you we haven't released our unboxing video yet, so people won't have seen that. But the sticker for our X1 is not straight. So let me just see if I can switch over to... You see this? So the X is down here, and then the X, and then the 1 is up here and all wonky. I don't know why they've done that. I don't know if someone's manually placed each one of these stickers. Is yours as well?
It seems to be because not the X1, but the Apex, the A is starting to come off, and I've already seen, I believe Martin's has his come off already. So
has it?
Yeah.
I mean, these must just be stickers, right?
Yeah, that's all they are. They're just stickers.
Yeah. So I guess someone just didn't stick these on properly. But a quick look at the UI. So we've got here, this is a really nice UI. Side note, and you'll see this in our unboxing video when we release it. This is exactly the same UI as on our Magforms P13.
Exactly the
It's
same.
exactly the same.
The Apex has just got a bigger screen.
The Apex has obviously just got an Apexmaker on it, and the other one's got a P13 on it. So, so it's a really nice laid out UI. This is where you'd go into the USB, the built-in storage. You can do Wi-Fi printing. In here's where you do all your manual controls. Then you've got your settings for networks and everything else. And then information about the machine. Data cleaning just erases everything that's on the internal. So power buttons and USBs and I/O, they're all down the side. So we've got the power cord comes in the side here with the power button on the side. We've then got an Ethernet port and 2 USB Type A's. The reason for 2, one is for a Wi-Fi dongle, and the other is obviously your data port so that you can do everything you want to do. Other than that, it's sort of it's pretty much what you'd expect. If I move this up a little bit, if this will let me, hold on. So you can see this build plate. Build plate has 2 thumb screws, 2 handles, and it is completely flat. There's no etching on it. There's no holes. There's no nothing. It is just a flat piece of steel. Nice strong hydraulics. We've got our carbon activated filter here. And if I move this back down, he said, zoom in a little bit. There we go. Right. So over here, we have a little USB cable. This USB cable is for the webcam that's included. The webcam does not come pre-installed. So the webcam is this little guy. And basically, it just sticks onto the side, corner, back here somewhere, out of the way. This then is magnetic, so it comes off of the stand, which means you can access the SD card that's in the bottom of it, and that's how you get all your stuff off. This little thing back here, this is where your auto refill and auto draining probe goes. And then this thing at the back is how, I don't know if you, so if I do this, I don't know if you can see the little light. No, you can't. There's a little light that comes on. This is how it detects that the resin is at a certain level, and that's where it stops. You can fill this up quite a bit more than that point, but if you're using the auto refill, then the hose is at the back, and then there's a little flip switch at the back that lets you turn it on and off. You do also have to go into the UI, and there is a button in the UI that lets you turn on or off automatic feeding. So that's a flyby overview of what this machine looks like. Why is there a square on the screen?
Because you was using the M50 camera.
Yeah.
It's 2. Oh, on that camera, is there?
Yeah, because you can't use that as a live because you can't get rid of the box.
So focus thing. It's this for the. It's on the camera. It's not on the machine. I can't do anything about that. That's how they made the camera. It's not supposed to be a webcam. It's a DSLR camera.
Yep.
I tell you what, James, buy me a new camera. How about that? Then it won't have a square. Yeah, Matt hasn't got a square.
The
Buy me a camera, James.
Sony A6000, and it has like an amazing focus too. Instantaneous.
Yeah, that's super quick. But is yours actually a webcam?
No, it's an SLR.
Oh, is it a DSLR?
Camera. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So adjustable feet on the bottom here. When you have auto refill machines, it is really important that you level your machine. So these feet are adjustable. If you don't level your machine, then you'll find that your resin will pool in one side, and that will more than likely cause it to slosh over the side or whatever. Yeah, it's super annoying, and just make sure you level. Just make sure you level it. It's really easy to level. It's not hard. We also have a couple of bottles of the Apexmaker fast resin. So we're actually using Matt's profile on ours because we stole it off of Martin. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you're currently doing 1 second a layer on this cure, yeah?
I think it's either 1 or 1.2.
Well, 1's what's on there, so that's what that's
Okay.
what I'm doing. Because we've got people watching, I'm even going to wear gloves. So I hope we're all happy about this.
And it's because I bought you 3 boxes of gloves, Rand, and they're still in the
That
garage.
is true, yeah. Oh, my hands have immediately burst into sweat. That was terrible.
But what is amazing is them gloves fit.
Well, yeah, of course they fit. I've got
Well, they're not
completely
like the
regular
Chinese
sized
ones that
hands.
turn
We've been through this
into claws.
before. Oh, that's a fun colour. Like a green grey.
So, James, this isn't as heavy as some of the others we've got or we've had recently.
Yeah, the P13's heavier.
Right. Yeah.
The P13 is a 2-man job. This you can move on your own.
I did. So I put
Yeah.
this up on the desk on my own.
I'd
Now,
say
granted,
this is about the same weight as the Mega.
yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. Maybe a little bit heavier than the Mega.
Yeah. It's definitely taller.
Yes, it is taller, yeah. There we go, that'll do.
Now, do you happen to have that that profile set up there? Because I don't know if I tuned in that profile yet when I gave that to him.
You don't know if what, sorry?
I don't believe I tuned in that profile. Does it say my name on the profile, or is it?
It says your name on the profile, which means it's good. And anything that happens after this also means it's legally your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault.
All right, we're just
So hold on. So we've
We're
got
just going
1
to say,
second
if something goes wrong,
exposure.
we're just going to say you ruined the stream.
Yeah. So
That's
we've
right.
got 1 second exposure time, 45 seconds bottom. Let's see. We've got bottom stance is 2 and 6, lifting distance 2 and 6, speed is 80 and 3000, lifting speed 300, 3000, bottom speed 3080, and retract speed 3300.
Okay. So that's pretty much the speed settings. Now, if you want, you can change. I don't know what the layer height set at, but you could change that to 0.5, which is the normal.
So this is on 0.5 already.
Okay. All right. So that's right. All right. You're good.
Okay.
You're all good.
So I will very quickly. So the build volume on this is massive. It's a 16-inch screen. So the build volume that I have it set up to in Cheetu is, he said, oh, maybe I don't. Oh, here we go. Is 353 on the X, 198.7 on the Y, and 400 on the Z. So it's big.
Now, is that exact, or is there numbers after the X and Y?
Well, the numbers exactly are 353.28, 198.72, and then 400 on the nose.
All right, just making sure. Get that little bit of extra room.
There you go. I was rounding up. So yeah. So let's find an all-in-one print test, which I know I've got one of sitting around here somewhere. What have we got? No, that's an FDM one. I could have sworn that I had a. All right, fine.
Fair enough.
Guess I'll go and download one then.
You should have multiple saved on there. We use them all the time.
The problem is I have loads of them, and then I misplace them. There we go, Ceratec one. That'll do.
Yeah, the front touchscreen, it's what, a 7-inch, so it is quite massive.
It's a big. I mean, the touch screen on this is bigger than our first resin printer.
Yeah, it is. It is.
and it's got a load of options on it that make this stand out a little bit more than most resin printers that I've used. One specific thing that I absolutely love about this machine is anybody that's used resin printers, you know, like the Mega, big printers, the M3 Max, the Mega, you name it. The problem is they're set to specific heights when you can move them up or down. So they have 0.10, they have 1 millimeter, and then they have 10 millimeter. So you can only move that 10 millimeters, and then you just keep on pressing it. Whereas the Apexmaker, you could actually move that
with a slider.
A slider, you can do that, or you can set a specific heights, and it'll go right to it. Almost.
Yeah, we didn't realize that until about 50 presses of the 10 mil.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
It was really annoying, actually.
Because we were filming.
Can you heat the bed? So correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. This vat isn't heated.
It is. So that has
so yes, you can.
Vat. You got to be careful because if you turn it on, it is set to 40 degrees Celsius, which is quite toasty. So,
right, okay. So, what do you set that in the touchscreen? Do you?
Yeah. So we're gonna go.
I mean, I'm not being funny. It's 1,000,000 degrees in here. There's absolutely no reason for me to do that at all. I'm just gonna grab my USB stick.
Yeah. So you turn out. You go to the screen. You scroll up one, and then on the bottom left here, there's a section called resin heating. Now I have mine off because, well, it's still kind of hot in summer, so we don't really need it. But
auto resin feed. So yes, it does have auto resin feed.
Auto resin feed and drain.
Yep.
Yeah. So you get this little jobby, which screws onto the top of your bottle, and then goes into the back of the machine. And it will fill the vat, and it'll empty the vat for you as well. The only thing I will say is that this vat will take, if you filled it, would take like 3 liters easily. Obviously, if you put this on a 1 liter bottle and then you tell it to drain, Matt, there's not like an auto stop or anything, is there? If the bottle was to get full?
No. The auto stop, like... Yeah,
it'll just stop feeding it in, I suppose, once it's full.
Well, it can't.
Well, it can't put any more into a container that's... It's got a screw-on lid, doesn't it?
It has got a screw-on lid, but I don't know how much pressure
it'll try and pump, it just won't get to pump any more in.
Yeah, I don't know. Right, anyway, so let's go. So I've plugged my USB in. Let's take a look.
Yeah, no, you just manually process that as is. So, yeah, you definitely have to be careful with that, draining it.
You going to focus, or are you going to be like that about it?
Or you could just pick up a jug, you know, like this, you know.
Yeah, you could always do that. So you click on UDisk. Everything's in here. Mine is the Siratech test model. The image comes up there. Automatic feeding and discharge turned on. So we say do not turn on because I haven't got anything put into it. So we don't want it. And then we just click print directly. Goes through and does this test. So the one thing I will just say is when you are doing a massive model, this last one of print file detection does take just a little bit extra time.
Yep.
So it's just worth bearing in mind that it's not stuck. It did that really quickly because this is a really small model. If you've got a massive model, it does take a little while to do that final check. But it tells you here how long you've got left on the FEP, how long you've got left on the UV light source, how long you've got left on the screen. You click yes, it says how much resin you're going to use.
So how much is this on the Kickstarter at the minute?
What's that?
How much is this on the Kickstarter at the minute?
Well, it's out of early bird now.
Yeah.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Give me 1 second. I'm looking right now.
And yes, before anyone points out, I'm fully aware that I told you guys to make sure you were leveling your printer, and I'm fully aware that this is not level. I've only just put it up on the side, and I'm not using the auto refill. It'll be fine. But but do as I say, not as I do. This does come factory leveled, and it does come with a factory Z offset that you don't then need to touch. So it will do its job right out of the box.
So there is still the super early birds that are available.
Okay.
I don't think it says. Okay, so it does say there's only 16 of them left, and that's at $11.99 USD. So that's a very good price.
I mean, let's be clear. At $11.99, you're paying £190 more than you would pay if you bought a M3 Max. An M3 Max is what?
900?
13.6 inch or something? 13.5?
Yeah, somewhere around there. 13.3
something around that. So it's smaller. The auto refill on the M3 Max is absolute trash. I never use it.
Yep.
It doesn't come. It comes factory level, but not factory Z offset. It's a smaller build volume. It doesn't have a heated vat. It doesn't have a carbon activated filter. My front cover on my M3 Max has never fit since the first day. So it's really just there for display more than anything else. The screen doesn't last as long. The UV light source isn't as powerful or as uniform. And this print's about 4 times faster than that does.
Yeah. So that was
for $150.
Yeah, that was James' question. Is it quicker than the M3 Max? I think even on a slow profile, it's quicker than the M3 Max.
Yeah.
Which is about,
Fred.
I don't know, 6 times slower than its fast printing capabilities. So
don't get me wrong. I really like my M3 Max. And when you're looking for...
Yeah, you've put hundreds of hours on your M3.
I have put hundreds of hours on my M3, and I have abused my M3 as well. Like, I have not been kind to it. I have treated my M3 Max like my first wife. Like, I already know it's a throwaway, so I'm just making the mistakes that I need to make with it.
Yeah.
I have treated it like a cheap hotel room. I have willfully disrespected that.
When you bought the new screen for it a couple of months ago, that does come in a Gucci case and stuff.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
compared to
the M3 Max replacement screen comes in like a Gucci little case.
Hard case.
How much is the retail on the Apex? I think retail is going to be like 1800s.
Yeah, I thought it was 1800.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
going to be
retail
close,
is 1800.
close to $2,000. So,
which, to be clear, still makes it cheaper than
the Mega.
Yeah, it still makes it cheaper than the Mega 8K.
So just to tell you right now, all right, so they have a package for Super Early Bird right now. There's 11 of them left where you can buy 2 of these units for $23.50. Now, give or take shipping, let's say shipping at the very max is $500 for 2 of these. That's about what it should be. Even with that, to buy a Mega right now is $2,800 or $2,900 right now.
Yeah.
So you're getting 2 and shipping for less.
Pretty much. Around the same price, if not. So I think that's pretty good.
Customs fees included. 1 year of Cheetu Box Pro. 1 year warranty. You get 2 Apexmakers, including all the accessories in the box. Jesus. That's an insane price.
And that nice little metal tray. I was really impressed with that.
Yeah, and you get you get a little tray to put your prints on.
Yep. And also, you know, the Mega, while I can get it pretty fast, the fastest I've got that is a full build volume in about 22 to 24 hours, depending on what you're doing with it. Okay, that's the fastest I've got that thing to print without changing any FEP film or nothing like that. That's on stock and FEP. This printer, stock as it is, out of factory, its fastest profile, does a full build volume of 400 millimeters in 4 hours and 12 minutes.
That's ridiculous,
Which
isn't it?
Now, in full disclosure, that is at 0.1 millimeter layer.
So you're not getting amazing quality.
Yeah.
So even if you
well,
were
It'll be
to
good, but it's not going to stand up to 0.5.
right, but even if you brought that down to a 0.5, which is what I pretty much exclusively print
Yep.
on all of my printers, okay, the stock profile,
Still
even if
under
you
10
did that,
hours.
that's doubling the print time, and that comes out to 8. And we'll even add on 2 more hours. We'll say it's 10 hours for a full build time, which I know is not the case.
It's still
10
less
hours.
than half.
That's still half, yeah.
Less than half.
James, yes, it is 8K. We have to remember that not all 8Ks are created equal, right? The bigger the screen you get, although it is still 8K, the lower your pixel density. So the quality of an 8K print on a Frozen Mini 8KS or a Frozen Mighty will be better than the 8K on a Mega or on this. There is a reality that you are stretching the pixels out, and if I remember rightly, this is a 47 pixel density? I can't remember.
Yeah, 46 actually.
46. Okay, cool. So a 46 whereas if we were to look at the Mini 8KS, which is obviously very small, but it is still 8K.
I believe that's
the resolution is 22.
Yeah.
Right. So 22 means that you are going to get a higher quality print on a smaller 8K printer than you are on a larger one.
Absolutely.
Now, with 12K kits coming along for things like the Mighty and things like that, you need to change the standard of measurement to pixel density, not total pixel count. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that is fair. I think that the thing is that we need to start moving away from the idea that 8K is the be all and end all, because it isn't, as Edge of 3D says, it is about pixel density, because pixel density is what provides you that high quality, what provides you that uniform image and everything else. Exactly. Hi Fallout. Hi Anthony. Sorry, I didn't see you there. So this is now printing its Siratech thing.
I just want to say, you can see how quick that build plate's moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insanely fast.
I mean, if we go like... I will apologize about the white box in the middle of the screen, because apparently people notice.
So yeah, for me to get a Mega right now shipped to me is $3,200. That's all said and done.
Yeah.
So you could get basically 2 of these machines that print in less than half.
About right, because I think for us it's about $2,500, isn't it?
That's pretty good.
For $1,700, you can get the printer and a wash and cure station.
Yep.
I want the wash and cure station because the size of them actually means you can wash and cure stuff from that and the Mega.
Exactly.
So, a curing station and a washing station. The cure station is separate from the wash station.
Yeah, they're separate.
Yeah, but for $1,700, which for us is like £1,500, you're not going to be able to beat that on price. I just don't think you can.
No, definitely not. What's up, Edge?
So if you said you were buying, if you said you wanted something, so to be clear, the only thing that is actually bigger than this is the Galaxy One, and the Galaxy One is not an MSLA printer; it's an SLA printer. So it uses a laser, not a screen. It's more expensive than this is anyway, and it's only 1 inch larger. And so we're clear, it is quite significantly smaller. So.
Yes.
For those who aren't aware, MSLA cures a whole layer all at once, whereas SLA cures with a laser, and it draws each layer with a laser on a Galvo server. No?
Yes, SLA does. Now, I will say that the eMake, which I do have over here, is slightly different in that sense. So it's a different type of SLA. So it is still a laser, but essentially what it does is, you guys have all used a copy machine before, right?
Yeah.
That essentially what it does is it has a light bar that goes back and forth. and it does that. So it sweeps instead of draws. So it's slightly different SLA, but it's still laser.
But it's still good. But I suppose the point I'm trying to make is that when you have MSLA, if you have one model or you have 50 models, if they're all the same Z height, it's the same print time.
Yes.
And but if you deal with SLA, then the more models, the more time. It's more like FDM in that sense, because you're using more of the bed, you're using more of the light. It has to move backwards and forwards. It's drawing it as it goes rather than each layer exposed all at once.
Correct. Yeah.
Edge of 3D saying he's got the latest Uniformation GK2 8K heading his way. So I've got the 4K, and I maintain that that is right now one of the best consumer grade machines in its weight class, in its price bracket versus build volume versus feature set and everything else. I'm a really big fan of the Uniformation GK2. I've never really had an issue with the quality. I've never sort of looked at it and been like, oh, I wish this was 8K. But that being said, I don't do super, super detailed tiny stuff. So like we did, if I can get this on the camera, we did this little guy. There we go. Look at that.
What one's that? Is that the one off the WoW or the one off the Mighty?
This is the one off the Mighty 8K. This is done in Sunlu's Red Wax 8.5K resin, which I don't know what the 0.5 means, but it's 0.5 better. So, so there's that. And that came out, like the stuff on his back has come out as good as I would want. In fact, I've also got this one I did on the whale. So this is a Day of the Dead model. And on the back, you can see the lace and everything. This was on the whale. This was on the whale 8K. And that
white mark is from where it was washed.
Yeah, it's a wash cure. It's a wash mark. It's annoying, but like absolutely beautiful. All the face, lace work on the fabric and everything, absolutely stunning. So yeah, I spent the day in their office in Shenzhen last week. They're a proper company with awesome people working there. Yeah, they are. And that's actually rare to find at the moment. And it sounds weird to say that because, like, you would think that all of these companies are big companies, but actually quite a few of them aren't. They're just a group of engineers and a couple of people in a sales team who are then, who have managed to make a printer. But we've worked with Uniformation a couple of times, and we've always been really impressed. Poor Anthony is alone on Facebook. Obviously, is he putting comments on Facebook? Am I supposed to be checking? Hold on.
Yeah, Uniformation is a great company. Edge, did you go with Sam, Mr. Prentice? I was actually supposed to go out there to Shenzhen with Anycubic. I was invited out there, but unfortunately, I do not have a passport to go out there, so I couldn't go.
You haven't got a passport?
Nope.
That's one of the most American things I've ever heard.
I've never been out of the country.
Passport.
There's no need.
I suppose if you don't travel out of the country, the CEO stopped the meeting 3 times to have the girl translating tell how much he likes my moustache.
That's
excellent.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was there with Sam. We brought out by Creality. We made it into several other manufacturers. That's cool. I followed a lot of Sam's journey out there, and I saw him doing his Creality stream, and yeah, I'm really impressed that they took you guys out there. It's rare that smaller creators, and to be clear, I'm not suggesting that Edge of 3D is a small creator by any stretch, but I simply mean that not the Joels of the world where we've got 500,000 subscribers, where we're sub 100K, which actually I don't even know if Edge of 3D is now. I think he might be over. but where they actually see those creators and they go, yeah, we want to work with you guys. We see value in that community. People understand your voice, and it's nice to see that.
Agreed.
So let's just have a look and see how we're doing on this. $15 minutes left.
Going by
So
videos, that's not the only place Sam left skid marks.
So one thing I will say, did you see him leave skid marks in the office? I did, but only the ones from the go-kart. So if this is you out in Sam about something else.
Well, there was a video of Sam trying to work the controls for his toilet, so.
So one thing I will say is the timer on this is very accurate. The timer on Cheaty Box still isn't. So so Cheaty Box said this was, I think, about 23-minute print. Once you put it in, this then recalculates what it's actually going to be, and the timer on here is quite accurate. This timer says 44 minutes, 15 minutes left to it. So the resin looks like water.
The frozen printers are like that. Cheaty Box is way out. You put it in the frozen printer, and it's usually spot on to a couple of minutes for a long print.
Yeah.
You can adjust that in Cheaty Box to be right on the dot.
Oh, can you?
It's very simple to do. It requires a lot of back and forth. So the thing is like when you go to your settings, there is a setting in the advanced tab, like where all your resin profiles are.
Yeah.
You go into there and there is a print time compensation, and you tick that, and you add whatever time you want to it. You can add a second, 2 seconds, what have you. So what you'll do is you'll print a base print. So let's say we're using this test print that you guys are doing. Says it's going to take 27 minutes, but Cheaty Box is saying 14 minutes, and it actually prints in 32. So whatever the machine ends up being, you can go in there, add some time, slice it, and then it'll tell you, okay, this is the print time. If that's still off, go back and change it a bit more. Slice it again, and then there you go. Once you're done, you save that profile, and anytime you use that resin, it'll be automatically adjusted for the exact print time. So when I print something on my Mega, it is exactly what Cheaty Box is going to tell me.
So just a couple of quick questions. How much resin is in the vat? So right now there's 1.5 liters of resin in this vat. Again, I could hook this up to the auto refill, and there really wouldn't be much reason for this to be much fuller than it is now. It would just constantly top itself up, be nice and low below the volume there. And then James is saying the resin looks very runny. Is that normal resin? So this is fast curing resin. This resin is from Apexmaker. We got like 4 liters of it with the machine. I think normally it comes with 1 or 2 liters, Matt. I can't remember. Let me have a look.
2.
I think it comes with 1, maybe.
Oh yeah, they might have changed that.
Ah, right. Well, actually, so the super early bird doesn't say it comes with any. It just says it's just the machine. So the super early bird ready to print package comes with 3, and that's with the wash and cure. But yeah, I don't think it comes with any as standard. So this cures at 1 second a layer at the moment. That's what it's on. Matt, I don't think yours has changed materially from that. I think you said you might have gone to like 1.2 or something like that, but like 1 second's pretty much where this is at. It's very quick on that. There are a number of other speed resins out there, and the main thing you'll notice is that because this is moving so quickly, it's the viscosity that's changing rather than necessarily the chemical makeup of the actual resin. The resin itself will have the same properties afterwards. It's that it's trying to maintain, it's pushing up and pushing down, and we want to try and remove the suction, remove the shear force. And the only real way to do that is by making the resin more fluid with a lower viscosity than normal resin. So you will have to up cure times and potentially slow it down when you're dealing with normal resin. The only resin we've tried at the moment is this resin. So we will carry on building profiles with Apexmaker, as I'm sure Matt will as well, so that when we get to actual publication and when we release that when Apexmaker release that profile, you should have a number of profiles with different resins in there that you can use as a jumping off point to crack on with your printing.
Correct.
Oh God, it's so warm. I think I might have lost weight just on this stream.
Well, last night I feel like we might have.
So can I use the same stream on my M3 Max and on the Apex? So you can, absolutely, you can. It'll just be a touch slower. So just so we're clear, I have used. So if I use,
so we tested one a little while ago, didn't we? A really thin resin.
So on the P13 we did it, right? So there's a high-speed resin P13 does, and that prints at about 2 seconds a layer. We then tried Sunlu resin. In most of my machines, my Sunlu resin is normally like 3.5 a layer, and on the P13 it was 2.8. So it's still going to be quicker. It's still going to be quicker than you would normally cure, but it won't be 1 second a layer. So it might be, say, 2 seconds a layer or 2.5 or something like that. But yes, you can use your normal resin with this machine. You don't have to use Apex resin. Apex resin just lets you print as fast as possible. Think of FDM, right? You can buy what they call hyper-fast PLA. It's still PLA, and you can still print regular PLA. But if you want to print really, really fast, the way to print really fast is to use their hyper FDM filament. It's 30 degrees here now, and I've got 4 FDM printers running. So I'll be honest, I'm not printing anything in my summer house at the moment, and I won't print anything until the temperature comes down a bit. It's meant to cool down in the UK over the next few days.
So last night, I bought a fair few computer upgrades, and James come round to build this computer, and it was so hot, and it took like over 4 hours. It was bad, wasn't it?
It was terrible. And what made it worse was the upgrades we were fitting were fans, but Mike didn't have another fan in his entire house. So the only way I could cool down was by turning the PC on and stuffing my head inside the case. That was the only way I could get any sort of relief.
I put the Dyson fan in.
Eventually, after 3 hours, I was a suit of a man.
You were suffering more than I was.
I was suffering a lot. You've reduced me to
sitting next to this computer now does make me feel like I'm in an 80s disco.
You got the rainbow on, have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of fans in there.
So I don't know if it's this all.
Working on a 14 Pi server rack. So just to be clear, what you're working on is, if you've got 14 Raspberry Pis in there, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the amount of money you've spent on that is roughly the same as an entire Google server.
So there's like 12 fans on this computer now.
I've been printing statues for the past year on the Saturn S. Being 4K and larger models, I really do need to upgrade. Do I really need to upgrade to an 8K printer? So, okay. So the quality of a 4K print on a Saturn would probably be about the same as an 8K print on this machine. Because although it has half the pixels, the Saturn is half the size. So the pixel density on a Saturn would be pretty much the same as the pixel density on this. Matt, can you quickly look up the density on the Saturn S?
I believe it's the same, but yeah, I'll take
I think it's 40. I think it's like 44, 45.
So the Ecto one is done, James. We had to print a massive base for it because it...
Oh, we're using a Wii now, are we? That's an interesting to use that term.
Well, you printed it, and then I had to mount it to a second base. It had to then be mounted to a piece of 12-inch plywood to make this strong enough to actually carry this car around because of its weight. So it's just a few bits on the base I've got to button up, and then next weekend we'll be filming it.
All right. You found it?
Yeah, hold on. It's right here. It says 448, actually.
48. Okay, so basically the same, fundamentally the same. So, David, so the answer is, if you want to upgrade your quality, then you could upgrade to an 8K printer, but you wouldn't want to upgrade to an 8K printer of this size. You would want to go for a Frozen Mighty 8K, potentially the GK2 8K that's coming out. You could do, there's a Saturn 8K, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a new Saturn that's 8K. And you would notice a difference in quality between 4K and 8K, providing that you kept the printer the same size. If you went for an 8K machine that was larger,
I love the Mighty.
Yeah. So if you went for an 8K printer that was larger, then you wouldn't notice a quality difference, but you would have a larger print volume. So you could, for example, print 2 statues at the same time at the same quality. So you could halve your print time, and this would actually print quicker than a Saturn anyway. So something like this would probably mean that you could print 2 statues in quadruple the time. No, quadruple less time.
Yeah.
25% of the time. Math.
Yeah.
I don't know math.
So, James, that case is huge. I miscalculated slightly. It doesn't even fit on my desk. I had to buy another desk just to put that on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I want to be clear, was exactly what I told you when you showed me it. And your words immediately to me were, it will 100% fit where I want it to fit. Those were your words.
It does.
Words of lies.
It does.
After you rebuilt the office, yeah.
It fits where I wanted it by the side.
I'd love to see someone model a Batman Tumbler or the Batman from Dark Knight. Love fiddler scale models. Love the Ecto. Thinking of doing the Time Machine. Okay, so the Tumbler, somebody did do it, and I think it's Gambody. I think it's Gambody.
No, I can remember one, but the file was crap because we tried printing it and it just wouldn't print.
Tumbler.
But I don't know if someone has released one since then. That was a few years ago.
Batman Tumbler STL. Hold on. Hold the phone.
Usually, if you're looking for a cool model like that, Gambody usually has something like it.
There we go. Yep. So Gambody. So GAMBODY.com. Gambody has done the Batman Tumbler. And it's the one from the Dark Knight.
Right.
The Batman all the models from Gambody are genuinely really, really good. They're cut really well. They're normally scaled really well. It's like that one looks pretty good. The only hold on. That one is it's all in one rather than being in parts.
So that was the one I think we tried to do years ago and it just doesn't work.
Yeah. There's a cut up one on CG Trader by CG Morph. That comes in parts. So you could definitely do that one. I thought they did a Batman. I thought Gambody did a really good Batman Tumbler.
I think they've done a couple of them, but I don't think they've done the Tumbler.
No, maybe it wasn't the Tumbler. Maybe it was from... maybe I'm thinking of the Batman movie, the Twilight guy one. The latest one.
Yeah.
The one where he's a really moody teenager. Yeah, I've seen the Gambody one, but I couldn't pull the trigger on it. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't think you'll find a high quality free one, if I'm honest. There are a couple of cut up ones on Colts. There's a couple of other ones knocking about. Like if you go on Yegi, there's a few different ones on there. There's one on My Mini Factory. That one's free, but that's not great. Yeah, the Colts 3D one looks all right. I don't know if they're anywhere else. There's a few on Colts 3D actually. I feel like somebody did do a really good Tumbler. I don't remember where it is.
I don't think they have.
Okay.
It's lies, lies, all lies.
Let's have a look and see how long we're waiting. 95% done.
Yeah.
Camera's gone.
Oh. There we go. It's 96% done. So it's been going for 30 minutes. It's 44 minutes in total, it says. So I don't see how that, I mean, it's at 97%. So it's only got another few seconds. 98. He said, punching his camera. $99.
And we're done.
When it comes up and it's not going to be finished, we know that, right? We know that it's going to. We know that it's going to. It's going to come up, and there's not going to be a print on that bed. I can tell already.
Story of my life.
Now, I will say, going back to the whole leveling thing, these printers are pre-leveled, and if you ever need to re-level them, they are not very fun to re-level. I will tell you that much right now, because it's a. If it's anything like
there's anything on that to me.
It is a 6-point leveling.
And the point where you'll get to see under it is going to be just off camera. Are you going to see what's on there before it goes out of shot? Wait.
Come on, turn it up.
Oh.
I see something.
Little thing there.
I see it. It printed. Yay.
It's a printed model. Can't argue with that.
Woohoo.
British National Grid just turned on another wind turbine for James to carry on printing. Yeah, and we probably turned it on in France. We didn't turn it on here. Right, okay, so let's pull that camera back down. As you can see, I have my printing prep area right here. Just going to grab some. I need some things. Where are all my things? What is that noise? It's like 4 times it's made that ping. It's very upsetting. Where's my scraper gone? I've got my wash station down here.
Should
And
be
somewhere around here, I have, and I know that I've got it because I used it earlier. I have a scraper, and I know I've got one. Here it is. Oh, blimey. Okay. I will go and wash it. That looks thinner than I remember. I thought the Seriatech one was meant to be quite like a little bit thick on the base.
I don't know. Never
Found some
printed
models for printing that have the word washed after its name. Do you know what washed means in these models? So, okay. So normally, I don't know where you're looking. Normally, what washed means is that they have been bought as part of a crowdfunding group. They were all watermarked, and then someone has washed the watermark off.
So,
and
say
now
a Wicked model that had Wicked on the base. That Wicked.
Yeah. So normally it means that something that was unique or something that was on there. Hi, Matt's wife.
Yes.
Hi, Matt's wife.
They just see the bottom half of you. You're blocked by the screen.
Hi, Matt's wife.
Here, would you like me to remove that? No?
Like a reverse puppet show.
Hi, Matt's wife. Everyone say hi, Matt's wife in chat.
Hi, Matt's wife.
Hi.
Hi.
She's purposely staying out of view.
It is like a reverse puppet show.
It's like upside down Muppets.
There, now he's here.
As she flees. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So bear in mind that this is just
Everybody
this is
said
Matt's
that.
profile, so I can almost guarantee you
Well,
it's
we gotta
wrong.
be there at 9, right?
But we'll have a look and see how this Syriatech one came out.
And by the way, you know, you guys do know it's like 7 in the morning when we started this, right?
Well, okay. It's not my fault you live in a silly time zone.
Hey.
We invented time, and you have the
We
audacity
invented time,
to
and then
think
you
you're
just made up your own one.
That's right. That's right.
We just
That's
went,
why
nah,
we're right.
freedom time. Right, so this is the Syriatech. See if it'll let me focus on. There we go. So everything on it printed. I would go so far as to say I might actually need to redo the Z offset on that. Because Matt, I don't know if you can see, but that's like around the corners here. I would say that's squashed.
Yes.
It's still printed it.
So, you know, everybody complains about that, but personally, I don't see any real big issue with it because most of the time models are going to be supported.
Yeah, you don't print hardly anything flat on the base.
Yeah.
So it's very rare that I print on the plate. I mean, it's been years since I've done that.
So, yeah, really cool. So that worked straight out of the gate. Well done, us. So David's asking us, what's the most rewarding thing you've printed? So a while ago, about 2-3 years ago, me and Mike worked with Enable, and we 3D printed some components for an artificial limb. So that was
You've seen the video of the geezer who's got the arm and it starts shaking and going out. That's the one we did.
That wasn't us. Just so we're clear, we didn't make a tug in the monkey arm, right? We didn't do that. We made a regular arm for a regular person, or part of a regular arm at least. So I really liked that. That was really cool.
Yeah, I haven't done anything that spectacular. You know, I just print little miniature versions of me.
Where's Medium Mike? Mike? I've got Medium Mike.
Oh, Jesus.
Medium Mike has a working watch on his
Medium
wrist.
Mike is 50% scale.
This one is vastly smaller than 50%.
I've also got
the hand with the auto can opener motion. Yeah, sure.
I've got Tiny Mike.
Oh, there you go.
I was going to say, Matt's a resin printing god, so he can just will another model into existence anyway. It's not really a big deal for him. It takes us time.
We're talking about because it was done FDM and it was in multiple pieces.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about the model that I personally really enjoyed the most, a while ago I did an Iron Man Hulkbuster, and I spent ages trying to get the red right. Now, as it was, about a year ago, I was unemployed, and in the end, I had to sell a bunch of models off to try and pay bills and things like that. Now that I've got better machines, I really want to do another Hulkbuster, maybe a different one than the one that I did, because otherwise I'll always just be comparing the models. But that model was almost all FDM, and I'd really like to do one in resin and just try it again. I used Tamiya's X27, and it's like a clear red lacquer. So you spray the model silver.
Comes out like candy apple.
Yeah, comes out like candy apple. So you spray the model silver to begin with, and then you coat over. Normally it takes 2 coats. You can brush it on. You can airbrush it, but yeah. I really that was one where when I looked at it, every time I looked at it, I saw something new that I really liked, and that was a really cool one. The hardest but most rewarding, I think, printed was a stop motion 1/8 RoboCane from RoboCop 2, 600 parts and hex bolts. Jesus.
So
yeah, that sounds a bit full on.
The coolest model on this printer that I printed so far is this.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
This is by Doses 3D, and it is obviously a model of Akuma. And this printed in 4 hours and 50 minutes at 0.5 layer height.
That is insane.
That's 4 days printing for most people.
More than that. Genuinely more than that. For most printers, bear in mind, I'm assuming you actually came in parts, so you did it in multiple parts, and all those parts came. So, like, I mean, for most people, they wouldn't be able to fit all of that on a build plate anyway. So, but it would take. Go on.
If you look at the Ecto 1, you see behind it there's a lamp post.
Yep.
Yeah. It's part of the base. It lights up. That lamp post on the Mega took 66 hours.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
350 mil tall.
Right.
Yeah.
But bear in mind, 350 mil is you take the top of the lamp off it.
4 hours and 50 minutes.
That was about 310 mil. It took 66 hours.
So actually, this was pre-supported, which I don't really suggest this model pre-supported.
I hate pre-supported stuff.
They're a little bit too heavy. And yes, this is printed in parts, but everything fit on that build plate as one. So that entire model was on that build plate.
It's mad.
It came out to 212 millimeters tall, and at 0.5 layer height, it was 4 hours and 50 minutes. So like I said, about 10 hours if you're going to bring down the resolution to its proper thing.
Still.
So that's
you're
still
talking about putting that in the morning, going to work, coming home and taking it off.
Exactly.
Exactly. So I've been asked before whether or not we sell any of the models that we print, which we don't generally. There's one guy who came round.
We give a lot away.
Yeah, we do a lot of one-of-ones, and we give a lot away. But we did one where like a guy came round, he bought it, and that's fine. But a lot of people say to me, "Oh, why don't you make and sell these?" And there's a lot of reasons for it. So there's the legal reason of you're not really supposed to commercialize a lot of these models, blah, 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 and all that stuff. But there's then the practicality of it. There is the amount of time it takes to print them. There's the amount of time it takes to paint them. And then it's how on earth you get them from where they currently are to where they need to be. Because
in one
something like my Green Goblin model, for example. In fact, even better, I'll grab you a model that I think would sell quite well because it's a really cool model. But I'll tell you now, I've literally no idea how you get it from where it is to where it needs to go. So let's see if I break this, just getting it out of
You're
where
not going to move Kingpin, are you?
No, I'm not moving Kingpin. No. Oh, I could do, actually.
No, you couldn't. Don't do it.
I did. I've got it here.
You moved it once, and that is the only time that's able to move in one piece.
Well, that seems very pessimistic if you ask me, but whatever. All right, fine, I'll move a different one.
So we have Matt asking, what is the coolest lithophane that I ever printed? And that was actually on the Mega. It was the first large print that I did on that before I did my speed profile. And it was a full build volume at 388 millimeters. And it took 64 hours to print that. And it was Vigo, the Carpathian from Ghostbusters.
It's a trick question. There are no cool lithophanes.
Yeah, it is a trick question.
So this guy, this is Osriel. It is it's a Berserk model. It's from the Batman universe. I love this model. I think it's brilliant. I love the way that it came out. It's actually part of a 2-part diorama where he's fighting Nightwing. I didn't do the second part because I don't hate myself as that much. I mean, I hate myself a lot. I hate myself exactly this much. But any more than that, and it would have just been self-flagellation at that point.
All right, gentlemen. Unfortunately, I have to go. I have some.
Yeah, okay, no worries, Matt. Thanks for joining us, man. I'll speak to you soon.
Absolutely. I will still be in chat, chit-chatting. So, but
yeah, no worries. We'll only be on for another half hour or so, and then we're going to go before I melt into a puddle of my own being.
Sounds good. All right, guys.
Cool. All right, thanks for joining, man.
Have a good one.
I did the Sinister Six statue, and near the end of the Resident FDM, where I was asking for a few months holiday.
So I originally did the Batman. What was it called?
The Batman. So it wasn't the Sinister Six. It was the Batman villains.
Yeah,
Batman Forever.
Insanity. Batman Insanity.
Batman Insanity. That was it.
I did that originally, and that took so long. And that was All
so
FDM.
do you know what though? Actually, I think if you redid that model, I think you would be stunned about the difference in quality that you would now be able to produce.
Yeah,
Versus
because it was
what you
fully
did.
done in FDM.
Yeah, because last time you did most of it on your modified S4. You did some of it on the Wanahao. On the Wanahao, yeah. You did it on a lot.
Ender at the time.
Yeah, and an Ender. So if you were to do that now, I would actually bet the quality that you would turn out, it would be night and day.
Yeah.
Just trying to think whether or not we should ask for some resin from Sunlu and do that as a project.
We could do it as a combined project. We could do it between
No.
us.
No. Just you. You should do it.
Why is it you volunteer me to do the biggest, longest projects?
I just did this for the North.
Sector 1. Much longer. Much longer.
Only because you took ages with it. You took a month off.
Yeah, because I was exhausted with it and I had to have an holiday.
All right, let me try and get this down without it smashing. Oh, please do the insanity of insanity. Brilliant. Ah, brilliant. Chat's voted for it. You're doing it now. Oh, I don't know if it fits back where it was. Oh, this is terrible.
At the minute, the only printer we've got that could potentially match this or compete with this with speed is we've got the Corsica that we're testing.
We'll be doing a speed print to show its speed. So we will, absolutely. We need to get the profiles tweaked so that we're making sure we're doing, like, we're getting the best speed out of this that we can. But we will do. And what we'll do is we'll probably bring the Mega 8K, because I think the Mega 8K is probably the most comparable. We'll grab Akuma's Mega 8K profile, because again, the profile that's on this is a tuned profile, right? So it's not just this is the profile they gave us, so off they go. This is Akumamods profile. So we'll grab Matt Farmer's Mega 8K profile, and then we'll do a side by side, and we'll show what we're looking at print wise. We'll just literally do a simple column, right? We'll do the same resolution. We'll do a 0.1 layer height or a 0.5 layer height. We'll figure out which one works best, and we'll do a speed test against both, and then we'll show you the compared quality results between the two. And I bet you they are going to be really comparable. Really comparable.
Do you know what I'm going to do with this?
What are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to stand it inside my PC case. So it looks like I'm in an 80s disco.
Yeah, you'll fit.
I mean,
to be honest, in that case, you might be able to fit the other one.
Yeah, probably.
Right, guys, I have lost roughly about half of my body weight in water because I am absolutely dripping in here. Yep. So if you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments. We'll come to them and ask them. We'll be on the groups. Can I ask how much IPA you guys go through? As I've got a feeling a tanker comes to you to remove it. Okay, so before we go, I'll answer this question. I land in London the 24th. I have an apartment on the River Thames right across from the globe for 10 days. Do you? So sorry. So Edge of 3D, 24th of November. Are you going to Form next as well? Are you going to Germany before that, or are you coming? Are you just going straight here?
Well, that's the 6th of November.
I'll message you on Edge. I'll message you on. I'll message you on Instagram. We'll have a chat, but we can meet up and do something. I'm literally half hour from there. So
James is literally about an hour and a quarter from there. I'm about half hour from there.
Not if I get a train.
Who gets a
about
train?
40 minutes.
Who gets a train?
Ish.
That's why I learned to drive.
Anyway, so how much? So IPA, yeah, we're gonna go and have a pint. No, just London, then Oxford for Smurf. Oh, right, okay, we're going to Smurf as well. So we'll, I'll drop you a message and we'll have a chat. David, so how much IPA? So we have, so the IPA that we, the wash and cure station that I use at the moment, I use the Anycubic,
which is 8
wash and cure station, which takes 8.5 litres. I can use this if I'm printing fairly regularly. I can use this for about 2 months, and then I need to filter and replace at least half.
So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to buy the Apex wash and cure station, because I actually want 2 wash stations. I want a dirty and a clean. And the thing with the Apex one is anything that comes off the Apex or the Mega is able to fit in the wash station, which currently it isn't.
So that being said, David, there is the new Anycubic Max station. The new Anycubic Max station is about $250, I think, and it actually sprays the model with IPA, drains that IPA out, and then cures the model. So it uses way, way less IPA, but it can fit models in that are the size that go on the M3 Max, and the M3 Max is huge. So I highly recommend going and checking it out. We haven't reviewed it yet, but I have seen a couple of other guys who have reviewed it, and they've really liked it. It's a really, really good wash and cure concept, and it uses 1/3 of the IPA that you normally use. And because of the way that it drains it out, it's also fairly easy to keep it clean. So you get a lot more life out of your IPA as well. So, yeah, hope that answers the question. Anyway, guys, if you've got any other questions, drop them down in the comments. We will do our best to keep up with those. We'll answer them. We won't answer
them tonight because we're going out for James's birthday.
Got that for my birthday. We're going to play crazy golf because we're adults, and that's what adults do. Yeah.
And then we're going to
the place is air conditioned, so that's all that really matters. So yeah, use the Elegoo Mercury station myself, but spraying sounds cool. Yeah, check out the Anycubic one. It's really good. So check. We'll be on the group. We'll be posting videos. We'll be posting some models that we'll be doing soon as well. So do not forget to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Thank you for sticking with us for all this time. For those of you in the UK, I hope you managed to keep yourselves cool today. For anyone everywhere else, I don't know, do whatever you do in your own countries. I don't know how you people live. So thanks very much for joining us. Happy printing. Catch you on the next video.
See you later.